Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young
We
man?
want to roll in on CREV. We love a company that receives multiple non-compliance letters from NASDAQ, and in our view, they must be planning something big.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that checked and it's gone.
Hey everybody, welcome to Laughing Stock. How are you today, Dane?
Good, how you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm very excited because after our deep dive into Dogness last weekend, you know, value has really come through for us, and he traveled to China and he came back with a solid report. Did you see that in the Discord?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I appreciate it going all that
Yeah.
way.
Fantastic work, and he met with Mr. Silver, and he said he was pretty sure he was a decent guy, but there were some red flags, and yeah, we just have to wait on and see, I think. But he really delivered for us, I think, and some solid work from China there.
Yeah, it's good to get finally someone in the field for these kind of companies that we're talking about, and look into the details, because Dog's one of those companies that once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No, you can't unsee it. And what surprised me a little bit, though, this was a little bit of a red flag for me, but he said the headquarters was actually a noodle shop.
Yeah, but what happens if it's like one of those cool ones that, like, when you walk into the noodle shop, that's what it looks like, but then there's like a door that looks like the bathroom or something. When you go in, it's the whole corporate headquarters right behind there. They're just trying to keep it hidden. Which,
when you see the products they sell, of course, there's going to be something like that, right?
Right. Yeah, well,
but
they don't want it's proprietary. They don't want no one to steal the information.
Yeah, no, they are smart, and everything is smart. We established that last time, right?
Yeah, it was you can tell by the web design. So yeah, it's a solid team.
Yeah, and the lady told him like that building is going to be finished, and there is, in fact, a pool. So, all right. So I guess
yeah. So on Friday, everything all of a sudden bounces back, and we were just talking about it before they started the stream. Is this really a bounce back, or is this just a dead cat bounce before we drop lower? It's tough to say. I don't know. In the macro environment and everything, I don't have any feeling one way or the other on where this goes yet.
I think it's very tricky right now. And before Friday, I guess you can argue like we would always get one up day, maybe, after what happened on this previously in this week. But because this week was very ugly for a lot of things, and we were talking a little bit now before the stream, right? That there is not a lack of evidence that it could drop, but then again, you get a day like Friday where everything is. You could have traded a lot of things on Friday and made a little bit of money, but for me personally, I right now I don't dare to hold anything over the weekend, you know, which is kind of the environment we are in. Maybe start to look at some pullback buys and to trim the same day, like we have been speaking a little bit about. And I'm starting also to, like you said, now there's no near-term triggers in a positive way, maybe that we know of, but something can always come up.
Right.
But also the market could move sideways for a longer period of time here, which then will just we have to live through a longer choppy period in that case. And I'm not sure how I will navigate through that one.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I see stuff set up and I think I can get an entrance during the week, it's I will take something because as of now, I'm still just in that mindset that I'm just gonna keep my stops tight as this stuff moves up, just because I'd rather just take something than take any kind of risk right now. And I'm still not shorting, so and the problem with
Yeah.
shorting is like besides everything that comes along with it, I feel like it's tough because if you're gonna start shorting, you really kind of have to, I feel like, pick one or the other. I mean, if I was going to start shorting the market, it would be because I assume everything's going down. I'm not going to just start shorting random companies just because I think there's like an okay setup, on like an occasional stock. Maybe if something was like parabolic where it's like, a little more obvious, but just to start shorting in general, it's so tough to say that. And those things, those rallies, they don't last long per se. I mean, they can. I'm not saying stuff can't be bearish, but
Usually you get out
I guess,
quicker
I
in a
guess I would just
short
need more
position.
experience.
Yeah. Speaking of shorting, the guy who are in the background today, Dane, he was shorting his own company.
Smart.
Yeah, he was smart. He made a lot of money, but they did catch him. So they made a law, a Wiggins law, I think, something like that. So
Hey,
yeah,
if you're gonna write the check down, you might as well make some cash off it, right?
you're not allowed to short your own company, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I think you should not be able to. But for being the first guy to do it,
Yeah. No, but it's too early for me also to short. I'm not gonna risk it, and I don't know enough about it to be comfortable trying anything. And if you hear all the good traders that we learn from, they say wait with shorting until you get the hang of things a little bit more. So that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, if I don't know, I've seen some pullback buys work though in this type of environment. But like I said previously, you have to take the profit the same day almost, because you know. And also maybe when you have this sideways move, just track things, see what's up on a day like Thursday, which was really ugly. Just pay attention to different groups and look for strength, and then just make a note. Because if we then are breaking out at some point, maybe you should go and look in those groups.
yeah, and for me, I didn't trade anything on Friday, and there definitely was things that were tradable, and I was just kind of a little slow and hesitant, anyways, just because of what had happened the previous few days. I think going forward, if I see the strength that I saw on Friday, especially after we've kind of hit like a 100-day moving average or something, and it looks like if we're gonna bounce, it's gonna bounce here. I'll probably take that more seriously and take trades, because I could have actually had a good week if I had traded some of the stocks I saw on Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. Literally Monday through Thursday, I didn't touch a thing. So I actually didn't take a single trade this week, which is the first time in I don't even remember how long. It's been a long
Yeah,
time.
but it's the correct decision. I think I think I was involved in two names, which worked for me. I managed to raise the stop to break even, but then I gave away all the gains. So in that case, it didn't work for me anymore, But just another stupid thing, I didn't take the profit when I had them, and I've done that a few times now. But you start when in real time you start and you think like, okay, this still looks good for the next day, and you kind of, I have the stop at break even, so I'm risking it, but in hindsight, another mistake, right? But it's not like that will make my year or anything. It's just like um, it's hard in real time though.
Yeah, my big thing is some stuff I've seen kind of take its time to trickle up. And there could be multiple entrances, but the stuff that like, in a real bullish market where you just see day after day just stepping up, and you can get long runs in something. I mean, there's a few, but I'm really, like there's a few like
Yeah,
of all the stocks I look at, and then I kind of like see the name after a little while, it's I don't know, like 5 or 10, that you'd be trying to call like that. And
yeah,
not to say you wouldn't have gotten stopped out on pullbacks anyways. So it's one of those things where I'm just still sticking to the idea of just capturing the smaller move in this environment, and just trying to stay positive, and
yeah,
not make any mistakes, and not take too many trades unless it really looks like it's working out. That's
yeah.
you know
No, I think it being a bit careful now is the right move, but at the same time, if this lasts for a year or how long it will be, what are you gonna do? One thing I have noticed though, and I have no idea the reason behind it, but Kulamagi, he was a bit more active on social media in September, October, and then he kind of went silent. Do you think he now saw that we are in a choppy environment and he will just go on a holiday or something?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I'm sure just based on what he looks at for market strength and whatnot, kind of realized that the froth that was on the markets are most likely done with for now.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I mean, it depends all on your style. But if you're not going to flip and start playing against the market, which he doesn't do, he does short things, but that's where he said he's never made a majority of his money on that side. I don't think
No,
many people do.
I
Um,
I will look forward to the book again, the Market Wizard book, to hear maybe, hopefully, for us, he will speak about how he had that huge drawdown and the lesson he learned from that. Maybe
yeah, I
to
don't know if he
step
got
away.
stuck in something or what, but
Huh?
I said, I don't know if he got stuck in a name or something or
Yeah,
what.
yeah. But maybe a lesson there can be that he steps away a bit more easy now to just protect everything.
He probably tried options.
I'm going to jump into this. Is speaking of Kulamagi. This is an indicator I got from one of his streams. It's just like he talked about it on one of the streams. I think a guy in his chat was saying that he made one of these, and he said like, yeah, just use one of these is simple enough to understand when you should trade or not, especially when you start out. And obviously these long periods where it's kind of purple here on it is the up periods, and you can just see now in the last 2-3 months, it's just like different colors all the time. And it's based on how the curves on the simple moving averages are, so now things are pointing down, so it turns different colors. But just says like, and he said like, yeah, that's a good idea to just use something very simple like this to determine, like, give you a view of the market. I just wanted to show it, like, now it's very choppy, right? And you these are the periods that we want, like these long purple periods where you find a lot of things setting up and breaking out.
Yeah, but
That's
just
not.
in general too, like you're talking about like overall trading. I mean, you can tell from May to October, that was the time to be trading.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah, for
you
sure.
know, since then there's opportunities, but they're small and they're quick, and it's
Yeah.
just we're
And
kind of nowhere.
that period also that we have been through now, it's kind of, I know I've read it somewhere. I don't remember the exact number, so I checked it up. And average run in terms of months on a bull run is like 9.6 or something, which is kind of what we got this year. So it makes sense now that we are in a little bit more of a rough period. And we were talking about, you know, Nvidia. Sorry, I'm switching to another chart here. You know, and Nvidia, if you pull up Nvidia, it just looks very similar to the Nasdaq and everything else, right? This has been dragging everything together with other giga caps. Like this run has been like it. You know, when you have these big companies, of course they have a big they have a lot to say on the moves. But then again, Tesla maybe a little bit weaker. We saw Microsoft plummeting down actually, and a lot of these companies have had recent earnings and they have made them drop, a few of them. You saw Amazon has been gapping down in like the last 3 sessions here. Friday was an up day for them, but also around the earnings report. You know, Meta is now under the 200-day moving average. Apple looked maybe the best of these giga caps, or Google. And we saw Berkshire had a strong move lately, which is natural. But there you can just find a lot of things now that, and you know, last week, and we were talking about the gold and the silver and the miners. Still, I'm not convinced that they had a few good days this week. Then did you see that? But I'm not convinced of those moves, to be honest.
Yeah, but it also it's kind of landing right where I kind of assumed it would. You know, I thought it was going to pull back just because it was a kind of a crazy move, and
Yeah.
I don't think commodities are just, you know, it's not like the amount of these things are changing. Like the story of these are one of the easiest stories because there's just supply and demand for most of these things. I mean, we already know all the use cases for it. It's not, unless like some technological thing or we figure out something like chemical that, you know, we didn't think before. But, you know, gold and silver, for instance, it's just going to trade off what it does in relation to the dollar. So yes, I think this move got a little obviously overextended, but I also think that it looks like it's kind of finding support in this range, and I think it's going to just kind of move sideways here for a while. And you know, and when I say sideways, it could dip a little bit, and it might bounce a little higher too, until it kind of finds its new settling price. But all these things,
really,
you know, at some point had to react to the dollar's moves.
Yeah, very uncommon moves in these types of instruments, though. But it's been a little bit while, and of course we usually speak about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been it's been rough for them. I noticed one thing in the ETF in IBIT. You see it has gapped down also every day this week, except on Friday, which I don't know how many. I'm not a ETF expert or anything, but these gap downs regularly in an ETF, I haven't seen them so often, I think. But then you had the massive day on Thursday where just, I think Bitcoin went below 70,000 on that day.
It almost hit 60.
Huh?
Didn't it almost hit 60?
Oh yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's
no, it did.
That's
It did.
incredible
It did
move.
hit 60. Yeah. You're correct. But then it followed up on Friday with the most volume ever on the buy side. So maybe I'm just thinking like maybe this is like the first bottom in Bitcoin for now forming. It will be
But also,
really,
you got to just think of the support levels at that. Go back 3 years. Well, that's where everyone's buying. So
Yeah.
I mean, you have a massive amount of people who are cost basis is in that region. So for it to break through that, I just don't picture it.
If you go to the weekly chart and you draw a line from 17th of December 2018, it's perfectly touched that line on a, like, if you draw it like this, which I've seen a few people that know a lot more about Bitcoin than I do. It's like it just perfectly touched it and pulled back. So I guess you're right. Like this is a natural level that it will find some support on. I think it can dip and try it again, and then maybe can go on a bullish run again. But yeah, did you see MicroStrategy? They had a terrible earnings on Thursday, but same as everything else on Friday, it came back 26%, which is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, their earnings are based on what Bitcoin does, so that doesn't really mean anything. But
No, that was priced in. But if you flip this chart, though, it looks so good. Dane, did you see that?
well, yeah, because it looks terrible
Yeah.
in general.
So that's like a proper setup here.
Yes, it was an easy looking short right there once that finally broke. But yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. I had redone my market strength, and ironically, obviously, I had a big number on Friday, but that was just because of so many stuff coming back. But now the longer term numbers at highs have dipped. So I'm curious to see where we end up, because I'm really trying to figure out, is there anything I can see in my market strength that's preemptive?
Yeah.
In terms of where we hit a critical point of being bearish or bullish.
It's very hard to say when you just look at the charts for the QQQ, the SPX, and the Nasdaq now. It's like you don't get any clues, I think. But yeah, for me, it just, there are a lot of things that point to bigger correction at some point, but I don't think it will fall like massively. But maybe, I think you texted me like around, if you drag the price down to a 15% drop here or something, it can bounce back again from there. I think I would agree with some kind of fall like that would be, I think it would be healthy right now to flush out a few things and start a little bit over again.
Yeah, but the markets don't care. So
They don't care at all. But the worst case scenario, I think, would be, a year of sideways move.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm okay with sideways, to be honest. At this point, I think the way I've been trading, if I had to trade this way all year, it would be fine.
Yeah.
It's just kind of when you start to see everything really pull back, that's like, you just got to be careful on that week, because usually it's almost impossible to stay in anything, and a lot of them you're going to get stopped out pretty quick. So just recognizing that as quickly as possible, I think, is going to be my biggest thing to work on.
Yeah.
But
I guess this candle is a bit interesting also on Thursday. If you look at the IXIC, the Nasdaq Composite Index, because the Thursday it did pull back and then it dropped again. What do you think about that, then? And especially, you can't say to ignore Friday, because Friday happened, right? But is that a warning
you have
signal?
bounce back. So the thing that scares me most is Thursday. It's just a lower low than we've had on those past two drops. Now, there was obviously the bigger drop that happened back in November, but
that was a bit different.
If anything, it just means that the sideways market's extended here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I see that, because now, like before, where I would have drawn that line is from like the middle of November to the one that's the middle of December to the one that's the middle of January. And now I would just draw a line from the November dip all the way to Thursday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I agree that and you were always going to have a bounce back, but I didn't expect it to bounce back in the way it did, because you had some massive moves on Friday. But I noticed here, though, the average volume was pretty spot on. So it's not like there were tons of purchases or anything like that coming into the market again after a pretty heavy sell period,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's everything everything I have spoken about is probably not gonna happen. but it's just like you try to work with what you see, you know, and it will be interesting to see Monday, Tuesday if they are as bad as this week was. We are starting to get in a little bit of a danger territory, I think, in terms of a drop.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
Potential
see.
drop.
You'll see what markets open up on Monday. But yeah, as of right here, I think we'll move sideways.
Yeah.
I just don't see anything pushing us one way or the other too much. Could be a long year.
Yeah, it could be a long year, right?
I mean,
Speaking of speaking of that though, there has been some strength in some of the oil companies. We were speaking about before the stream. XOM looks really strong. In the You probably should have. This is a very low ADR stock, so not on our radar, but it is a leading stock in that field. And I think I mentioned last weekend or the weekend before that I saw all of a sudden I saw some oil companies coming into the scans, and I tried to get into BOR, for example, a few times, which has worked out, but I got stopped on these candles here. It was very hard to stick in this name, and then it went up with some good volume as well. And Pump is another one. There has definitely been Pump. You can still monitor and try to take, I think, because that hasn't broken out properly yet. But there has definitely been a few oil companies that I have added to my lists here that has shown pretty good volume coming in lately. We were speaking about GTE maybe setting up. Ring is showing some strength, I think. So there are some fields that you should keep your eye on that you can still make money on in sideways markets and even drop. Because look at this volume coming in; it's pretty massive.
Yeah. And there was definitely some setups going on in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's not like you can't trade. It's just the selection seems to be a little bit lower. Like I just went through my current list, and on Friday I got down to like I think it was 11.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, it was small, but you had some
today,
setups.
yeah, and actually there was probably 4 of them that actually did really well that day
Yeah.
on Friday. And now I have 17, so the number is expanding a little bit again. So it's obviously weaker than it's been, but it still looks pretty good. I know that doesn't, necessarily mean much to everybody, but that's that when it's your list you're trading off of, and you start to have some opportunities come in, and that's the other thing too is on Wednesday and Thursday my lists were a decent size, but nothing worked. I mean, there was
Yeah,
maybe
no.
one
Yeah.
name, I think on one of the days where you could have traded, or maybe 2 names, I don't remember, but you would have got stopped out for not much. So it's obviously not like a great time to trade. So yeah, I guess it's more just what was the strength on Friday? Is that just people trying to find some kind of ground, and then as soon as that's the thing is once some people start to buy just enough, and it kind of turns that flow, all of a sudden you'll just watch all the markets stop just because there's all of a sudden not that heavy selling that had been going on, and a lot of people they don't want to be. No one wants to be selling if they can avoid it. The selling's all fear and probably people trimming, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
I did notice, like I said, a lot of the oil names and also the semiconductors and stocks attached to the semi space, they were delivering a bit this week. A lot of them were green actually on some of those terrible days like Thursday, and together with electronic components like TTMI here, VICR, these names looks very strong still, and that was just impressive to see a few of them showing some real strength on a day like Wednesday and Thursday, and another one that caught my eye really caught my eye was also this group here, communication equipment, and especially light, LITE, which just seems like it's going to continue to, I've been trying to get into it a few times, and it's been hard for me at least, because it knocks you out with some of these candles around the breakout entry. But yeah, that was like, you see on Thursday the stock was up, almost 10%. After an initial drop, it did drop on the market, general market, and then it just kept going up and followed through on Friday.
Yeah.
So this group also, I was in CIEN. I got stopped out on Wednesday, and then I would have been stopped out on Thursday as well if I didn't get stopped on Wednesday. But then after, look at the volume coming in here, Dane, on Friday.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Crazy volume, and the stock didn't move too much. It moved 7%. I know it's a large-ish company with 38 billion, but
Who
that
owns
that
that?
that volume was pretty crazy in terms of what it has been getting in the past. So yeah, annoying that it kicked me out, but that was one of the ones I should have taken my profits in. But strong group.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big holders there. This Elixium Wealth. Who is this?
Are you checking Whale Wisdom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the last quarter, they bought 11 million shares. So something's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it caught my eye, that volume, and that just the entire group. Light is the leader, of course. But definitely there are stocks that you can keep your eye on and try still. There was no news either. It's like the news I can find is Sienna, or maybe here, Sienna to join S&P 500 on February the 9th, Q1 results on February 5th, which has already been. Oh, they had earnings.
I was gonna say, I was like, there has to be something that's propelled
Because
that.
in trading view they show the earnings buttons down here, and it's wrong. So they had earnings. That's the reason.
What did they do after hours? They're only up 1%, huh? I feel like this could bounce in the morning on Monday.
I look
That's
at
an incredible amount of buying to not have that move at all.
we need to check Seeking Alpha now.
It'd
Who
take another
owns
week
those?
or so, but usually when all that liquidity gets bought up, it's only a matter of time before something starts to move up again.
I can't find any mentions of the earnings on Seeking Alpha either. This is a bit weird. Going to their website. I can't find anything there.
I'm just pulling them into my fundamental spreadsheet just so I can see them.
with a live web broadcast and an archived call available afterwards. But maybe the volume is because they got into the S&P 500.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't hurt, obviously. Bullish news. I mean, it's becoming one of the biggest companies
Oh
in the
no,
world.
here they got the wrong they got the wrong month in the news article here, because when you click through, it says it's gonna do the results on Thursday, 5th of March.
Oh,
So
all right.
TradingView is correct then. It's going to be 5th of March, and I assume this is just because of the switch of the indices news.
Yeah, I mean they're in really good financial footings. Let me see what their debt is. They got a good amount of cash on hand. So even though they do have debt, it doesn't look like anything's due. And their cash flow this last year was incredible.
Yeah, they in my table here since June 2025, they have delivered massively on the EPS and their revenue year over year. So a good you see it's growing a lot, and yeah, no, I agree. You should have this on your list this coming week.
It looks like they had their best years
Quite a
in terms
move
of
though.
like cash coming in. Looked like right before COVID. My mouse just froze, so I can't move here. Or actually, it was right during COVID. They must have benefited from probably everybody using, the internet during that time period or something. I don't know. I don't know exactly how this all works. I don't, because they're a huge company, so there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And then you have a light also. You have a lot of exciting names in this group. ASTS, VSAT,
There's no
VI.
insiders buying.
No insiders? No, they
No,
are from.
everyone's
It's a,
been selling, but like really small amounts. Not like
but are
they've just
they?
been making cash off the stock.
Where are they based? I think it's a. Is it a German company?
Let me go to the profile. No, they're in these states. Hanover, it says.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was German, because that's a city in Germany. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's a city in the USA too, I guess.
The states are based. Every one of this, I feel like almost every city in the states is named after either a European country or it depends on what ethnicity was in the area. But like in the south and out west, south,
Yeah.
southwest, I should say, it's all Spanish names, and then there's like a few French influences in there too.
Yeah.
And then
I've
the other
seen
big one
some.
is Native American. There's a lot of Native American names too.
Yeah. I've seen some streets being named like Nordic names,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it was people's like names that came to the area. Like if you
Yeah.
had people that came from whatever area, the streets
Yeah.
and stuff are named after them.
Yeah. I mean, New York is from York, right? In
I would
England.
imagine
Yeah.
the New York. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the Dutch were the first settlers for New York.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I updated my list yesterday, so this is going to be the list I post in the Discord tomorrow. I have Alto on the list now. Then, what do you think about Alto here? A bit wide the
Um,
candles, but it is moving sideways. Very little volume. It seems like there's very little interest in Alto right now, but it did go up quite a bit on Friday, like everything else, and I have seen there are some breakthroughs and some updates on some of those legislation news that people have been waiting on. So there are some catalysts still here, and you since the last earnings, it has gone up a lot on volume as well. So that it's digesting that move now and moving sideways a bit. It does look a little bit interesting, which is why I keep it here, I think.
Yeah, it's a little choppy, but
Yeah.
it just means it's going to take some time before if it does, find a spot to break out, it will.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a huge buy, and I still don't know what's going on to make it, anybody even consider touching this thing. So
Yeah.
there must be something going on.
Yeah, I think maybe the direction of how things are moving there with the laws and the benefits it can have from those. I saw Justin had some tweets about it this week. I didn't read them properly. I just noticed. So no, it's on the list. PGEN is another one. Building a very long base here. It looks good on the weekly too.
Yeah, I followed them for a while, and they haven't popped on my list. So I can't remember why it's not on why it hasn't popped up on my list.
No, but it's like this base is like it's a big sideways move, right? So it's kind of just bouncing around. I'm not gonna touch it. This needs a proper breakthrough for me because you can draw the lines different than what I have done here, but it also pulls back a lot. So I think it's no need.
Yeah, it needs to break through like that 5-20 range.
Exactly.
If it can break through that, then
yeah,
it'll be pretty obvious.
Yeah. But it does look a bit good, inside the massive base I've drawn here. It gets some. This is actually a decent move in itself, 30%, So it does move a lot, but I just want to see a clear direction here. I kept NVA in the list. It's still in the sideways move, in my opinion, but with what happened with the metals and stuff, I need to be very confident before I try it again. And we saw some good news, right, Dane?
Yeah, they're gonna re-domicile into the U.S.
Yeah, and
now that most of the companies here and most of the owners are, from the U.S. According to some way it's regulated, it has to now list as a U.S. company. But they're going to keep the dual registry, so they're still going to be on the ASX and still have now the ASX will be like I guess like it'll kind of flip-flop. The shares here will become their actual shares. So I don't know if it still trades like a 12-to-1. They just keep that structure or how that works. But yes, it'll become, and they said they want to take that last 15% stake in the Estelle mining area. So that makes me think it's pretty bullish because the only thing is there's one of two reasons you want that. Number one, you think it's a great area and you want the rest of it. Or number two, probably more importantly, is if you own the entire area, you have less. No one can come in and argue that they want to do something else with the land and veto any of your goals. So it should get the projects going cheaper and faster, which is I'm sure what their goal is. So
I looked at those because they were releasing a lot of news in the same day because there was in terms of their restructuring and everything they were gonna hire a new CFO and stuff like that. So there was just a lot coming in on the same day. But for me, that really good news was the one you mentioned there with the additional stake. That was the good news, but of course it did drop because the environment was so poor, so it did actually drop quite a bit from after releasing all of that. But
but that's good news that wasn't taken into account just because of macro environment. So if anything, that's kind of like a hidden gem in terms of its story.
That's what I was gonna finish with. Like that's the reason I have it on the list, because I think this still have a lot of potential here.
Yeah, I don't have it on my list just because the setup's not there yet, but a setup could form at any point here. And
We have
I just wanted to point out because you said they were changing their CFO.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that it sounds bad, but they're only doing that because when you relocate to the U.S., they want someone who's their CFO that knows the U.S. like structure and laws and taxes and all that. It's not like they didn't like their CFO. They were happy with the CFO the whole time. It's just now they want someone with expertise in the U.S.
was a
So
natural thing.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad thing in my mind.
No.
That's at least that's how I read it.
Yeah, same here.
So,
So it's still here, bouncing around. Also, this one, it did pull back here when we talked about it, and but once again, though, that was more due to the environment than the fundamental story and the story behind the future here. So this can still. And we have seen now that the move is over. Maybe in silver and gold and all those things. Maybe this can turn around again.
yeah, I think kind of similar to how the markets have kind of ran up so much, and same with any AI company. Metals they just run for a while, and you get a huge swath of the market that just if something's working, you just keep buying until finally it doesn't, and then everyone just pushes the brakes, and then you kind of watch like an overcorrection.
Yeah.
So I just think that's all that you're seeing here is a bit of an overcorrection. And the sideways move on this, it just makes sense if you think about it. I mean, there's a lot of good outlooks or outlets at least going forward, but nothing's confirmed yet. We have to get that first mine. They have to start, really being able to give a better detailed number on what they think these things are going to be worth. So I think I had posted that it looks like we're at least still probably about half a year away from possibly getting really good estimates on where they think all this is going to land, the cost, and the actual like output that the mines are going to have. What they think in terms of actual tonnage and stuff that they can get from all these areas, and what the earnings are and cash flows are going to look like for something like that. They will put that out, so that's the one thing to wait for. So you're going to have to kind of wait, but in the meantime, this is going to bounce around. I mean, does it bounce up and break out somewhere in here before that news comes? Possibly, just because the other thing too is as you get closer and closer to that, it's going to get priced in before it happens, where people are going to kind of assume it's going to be good. So unless there's some negative news that pops out in between now and then, I think this just trickles up from here. Yeah. But like you said, macro environment really matters. Obviously, if the indexes pull back, this is going to suffer from that. If metals continue to pull back, that will affect what everything's worth, because if you're mining materials, it's whatever you can sell it at that time.
And another point though that I think we kind of skip over a little bit when we speak about it is from August to October 2025. It had a 700% move.
Yeah, and also one other major point I need to point out is when something redomiciles into the U.S. now, all the U.S. investment companies that weren't able to because it traded as an ADS or ADR, whatever you want to call it, now can invest in this. So this opens it up to the U.S. investment pool, which obviously is the largest. So that's huge. In terms of other people being able to invest in this. So I would think that all leads to a relatively bullish scenario, but like I said, I don't see anything on the chart right now, so I'm not making a move here. It's holding above that 100-day moving average pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
So until I see otherwise, I think this kind of trickles up.
Yeah. The next one I have is GRAL, which, another pretty long base right now. It's nowhere near a breakout point, but it's just something. If you also this is the candles are a bit crazy on this one, and it's easy to get stopped out, I think. But it's been kind of on my list for a while. I just track it in the sideways move.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have BLNE, which is like a beverage company. Beeline Holdings.
Beeline. What do they own?
I'm not a big fan of the chart overall, but it has come out from a double bottom here and got some volume on the move up. It's a little bit low in average dollar volume. But I don't mind how it looks right now.
I'm very confused because I just read what the way it's listed in what's it called? It's under consumer staples. Is this the same thing? It's under distillers and vintners on stock charts.
Again?
I said it says it's under drinks on stock charts, but then when I look at it under like stock analysis, it says it's in finance, in mortgage lending.
I think I see the same here, because Finviz have it in beverages, wineries, and distilleries, and then TradingView has it in advertising marketing services.
What?
So we have to go and check their website, I guess.
What the hell do they do?
Yeah, it's a loan. Access the same loans the property tycoons use.
Yeah, I don't know why this is getting confused in terms of what they're doing. I believe they don't have anything to do with drinks.
Yeah, say.
So I say sometimes it's like these websites. You think
all about
things
loans.
are more well designed, and they're not.
Learn. I want to learn. What's a beeline? It's the shortest path to your new home. Sounds like a winery, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it screams winery.
Yeah.
That's why I was when you said there were drinks, I was like, who do they own? Because I'm like, I've never seen like their logo or anything. But that's because that's not what they do at all.
No, that's just grouped wrong.
Yeah, random.
At
Even
least
more
from-
random is the fact that there is like it's not like it's like a niche thing where you can't like put that under finance somehow.
Well, at least from what we can figure out, that's wrong, right? Yeah. All right. Anyways, I don't mind the chart.
Yeah, right.
And then the next one I have is GORO, GORO. It's a gold company. Bit of a high ADR, which is kind of what I have it on the list because why not, right? 12% ADR.
Sorry, what was it?
GORO.
Oh, actually, I had them on my list.
Yeah. Once again, I'm not a big fan of the overall chart, but I'm just gonna have it on list, and if it does have breakout on some good volume, you know, put a tight stop in and see what happens.
Are you on GORO?
Yeah, this is the one I have. Yeah, is everything wrong today or what?
It says you're on BLNE.
Oh no, it's lagging then, I guess.
Oh, on the stream.
Yeah, you are watching the stream.
You know what? Mine got. Hold on, I got hit live. That's why.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, sorry, because
Yeah.
I saw your chart, and I was like, that doesn't even look like my chart. See, actually, I read that differently than you. Because I thought that broke out.
Oh yeah. No, I can understand what you have done. It's like this. So the breakout was Friday or what?
Yeah, on Friday I
Yeah.
thought it had broken through because
Yeah.
I had that can. Yeah, I had it tight like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
it had broken through it.
I think
Yeah, but
the
go ahead and say
reason I
before it in terms of the bottom of that candle.
yeah, the reason I put it here was probably because I check the list every day and I don't remember if it was on the list or not. So then I just drew the line here and can still, because it matches with the top here, you know.
Yeah.
So, but if you got in here and Monday continues, it's good. But maybe I wouldn't dare to hold this over the weekend right now. It's a big mover. Just look at this candle here on 21st of January.
Right.
So be careful with these ones.
Hey, at least it opened high, right?
Yeah, yeah. You had some time to get out.
Yeah, you could have sold out in the morning
What
there.
is that drop from the? What is it from the top to the bottom? It's 50%.
That's a big drop in one day.
Yeah.
But a lot of was that the day that all the metals dropped? Was that the first day or like why it's such a random giant drop? I mean, this is a
Wednesday.
relatively small company. I mean,
No, it
I say
was
that it's worth almost $300 million at the time.
but it wasn't that day though. But it was just before. Yeah. Anyways, I've also added Victoria's Secret VSCO.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a bit if you go to the weekly in terms of how I measure things now, it's getting a little bit extended, but on the daily it's not. I'm just not sure how much further it can go. But definitely just another one that I just want to have on the list. Also keep in mind though, my mindset right now is to be very careful. Even if it has some breakout, I kind of have to see a lot of volume right now.
So when you say you want to see a lot of volume, do you mean like the morning of or
Yeah, in the beginning of the day, yeah.
yeah.
Because the last days it's in this stock particular, it's been very low volume in the short base it has created here. And you can it tapped the 50-day here and has been going up since then.
Yeah, it's been a strong stock this year.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the end of last year.
Yeah. And the ADR, you look at it and maybe you think it's a lower ADR, but I have 5.41, so it's decent.
Yeah, I mean it's just on the cusp of like what I would argue is like a decent ADR.
Yeah.
So no, I mean you could easily trade this. It's just like you said. I mean, I don't disagree with the way you drew your lines. It's just a little choppy for me. I don't think it's like a super clean setup by any means.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm also a bit when this number here starts to move towards 30, it means it's a bit extended. So I'm a bit hesitant just because of that as well.
Gotcha.
TTI is the next one. Which I believe is also close to 30 on the weekly, so same issue. But strong stock this entire past year. It's just been moving upwards.
Yeah, it's gotten a little choppier now, but it's I mean it's held above that 50 for forever.
Yeah, and it
And there
kind
were
of
really good setups. I mean, mid-August there's a really good setup, and same like the start of October when that all that volume came in. Those are really good setups.
Yeah. Yeah, this I guess is the clear day you should enter it at 13 October, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, in hindsight, yes.
This is a good one. Which was also a bit of a difficult period in terms of things not working. So if you saw that, this was the day.
Yeah, there's really, really good volume too on that first day. I mean, not really good, but in terms of just like that, the volume and then having that move.
Yeah.
If you could get in on that morning.
Yeah, must have been some news. Because it's in between earnings. So it has shown in the past that it moves. Also, you know, you have some of these stocks that just keeps moving upwards, but there's not a explosive move, you know. But this one has both. Because in 3 days there you are 30% up, you know.
Right.
And the last one is Cyper, SYPR, which is a bit of a crazy looking chart. I just added it. It's in the auto parts group, a high ADR stock as well. Probably not going to focus on this at all, but just on the list.
Yeah, it's starting to form those lower or higher lows. Looks okay.
Yeah.
It's a small company.
Yeah, and low average dollar volume, so I'm a little bit scared of some, you know, one actor can move it.
Yeah, do you have that as a threshold for when you screen?
Yeah, I do.
I was gonna say I just I didn't see this pop up on mine, and usually,
No.
and that's usually why is my dollar.
Yeah,
Will kick out.
Kulamagi says like you should have, you know, 20 million, or he says different things, but he says like you should below 5 million you shouldn't do anything. So that's my lower side, 5 million, but I prefer to have it a little bit bigger. I don't care. I don't care that it has to be a certain amount in terms of, you know, we're not going to move the stock. But if it's getting too low, someone else can move it, and we have, you know, we can be caught in a gap or something like that.
Yeah, I have it. Just it depends on which one I'm looking at. I'm just going through a few just to see. Mine usually are at 10 million. Has to have at least a daily, about a daily volume of 10 million. That's kind of my cutoff.
Yeah.
And the goal there is just to spot institutions.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the list that I did the scans yesterday. So this is going to be my list for Monday.
Gotcha.
Not really thinking I will take anything of this, to be honest, right now, but let's see what happens. Maybe Monday will be as strong as Friday, and then that changes the picture a little bit. Then you have 2 days in a row with a lot of good, strong action.
Right.
So it all depends.
Actually, I just realized one of my screeners, I have that number too low.
Okay.
It's the little things.
Yeah, but those things matters a bit though, because it can go both ways. If something it gets a little bit, you want to filter out
Noise.
all the noise, and also to protect the downside. That's like just a scenario that can make your downside explode, you know.
Yeah, I just wanted that there's enough people buying in that like you're gonna kind of catch like a wave as opposed to like, you know, you just spot checking something and getting in.
Yeah.
Because there is some charts that like I look at and like the volumes, it's pretty choppy. Like they don't really have anything crazy volume wise, but in general they normally do. So like it will get spotted by bigger players just because it has enough average daily volume anyways.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's I don't really have much else to cover today. I mean, like I said, Friday was a great day in terms of like, you know, it in my mind, it showed a pretty strong recovery, which is great because that's what you want to see. I know you're hoping for kind of the markets to break a little bit more.
I wouldn't mind it. I'm by the way, I'm all cash right now. I didn't
Yeah,
say
same.
I have no positions. I had 2 this week and got stopped on them for a little bit of profit, but I should have taken off more. So yeah, I kind of I won't be sad if we get a correction, if you know what I mean.
Well, you never know. You might get what you ask for.
After the correction, there are rumors that the glasses will come back on.
Nice. Yeah, I was just looking at, in terms of, week high, week low. A lot of stuff had a tough week overall. There's a lot of things that were down quite a bit, but like, if you look at, the daily return on Friday and whatnot, there's so much. I think there's enough support there that I don't think it's going to collapse here, but you never know. This is as I get more detailed in terms of the way I'm looking at all this stuff and measuring things. I'm not able to reflect on the previous, dips and see exactly how it looked during that dip. But now I'll have all that information going forward. So I'm definitely curious. I'll see you on Monday. I'll post my current list. I didn't post it yet on the Discord, but I will, just because I know sometimes if I'm the one hosting, I don't always post it, because like you can just see the YouTube video and if you want to check the names. I mean, I guess I could still post it. I probably should, just for convenience sake, if you care, because I know everyone's looking to see what we're looking at, because that's the obvious bias.
It's gonna one day, Dane, that's gonna be true. So then we can just say that we have always done it this way.
Yeah, well, true. I can save you guys all the headwork.
Yeah,
and you can just shamelessly copy us. I mean,
yeah. There's a section in one of the books. I can't remember the title of the books, but a wealthy investor, a very successful one, he said that his style is to copy, which is true for a lot of investors. I think you just copy what works.
Yeah, I think there's so much into it, and it's so complicated. If you don't really care or have the time, just index. It's by far the easiest way to do this.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I mean, copy who's working. If you would have copied Kathy Wood, when she was killing it, you would have looked like a genius too. And then as soon as everything starts crashing, stop following Kathy. Then she looks like an idiot.
It's ARKK, right?
Honestly, I forget. I haven't looked in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also has dropped below the 200-day moving average now. If it is this one, so yeah,
I think it is
another potential red flag here. But let's see. It's gonna be anything that you say now is like just anything can happen, right?
Yeah, we're in no man's land for sure. I mean, this pullback was enough of a pullback that you can tell everyone was a little like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But then that Friday day
comes. Yeah. Without Friday, if Friday would have been also red, I think the picture would have been a little bit clear.
That's what I'm saying. Friday could have been all hands on deck. You know.
But then you get the opposite.
But it always looks that way too. Like Thursday's like that day where it seemed obvious that like, okay, today's the day that you should sell, get out, because everything's in full panic. And then of course Friday is just like, nope, we're just setting a new floor.
Yeah.
So it really is hard to tell. It's so hard. I've gotten to the point now, like I really don't touch my other accounts, and I just keep funneling money into them, because trying to sell and buy on indexes and stuff, it's just not for me. I'm not that quick with it. And you only, you only get in and out of most of these things at the end of the day. So, and I'm talking like funds and that. I know ETFs, you could trade them, which maybe someday I'll do that with those accounts if I feel confident enough. But, as of now, I just like having my separate account where I can do all this nonsense and not worry about, destroying my family's future.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you got anything else?
No, I think there's gonna be also less to speak about when if there is a correction in terms of that we are not shorting. So maybe a correction can come so we can focus more on some value plays again. But then I started to think about GME. Dane, we didn't speak about GME here. GME actually had at
Got a
least
nice
it tried a good it tried to have a good day on Thursday, but it did pull back in the end. But it wasn't the ugliest stock on that day.
No, but
So
I'm saying Friday makes that look like a good setup to me.
yeah, I
That's
agree,
okay.
and you know, one of the
Or wedge,
stocks that
whatever you want
you
to call it.
should, huh?
I said or a wedge, whatever you want to call it. I don't really
Yeah,
care about these names. It just doesn't mean anything to me.
yeah. But one of the stocks that you should probably just now you have Burry again. You have Ryan Cohn buying a ton of stocks. They had, I don't know if they have the Bitcoin position anymore, but they seem to have survived the massive drop. Like maybe that's reflected in the chart here. I don't know.
I had this idea that Burry just wants to become an ape. So he gave up the whole fund, all that, so he can just YOLO in GME again. I think
And in
that's
that
the
case,
game plan, and it's probably solid.
in that case, you should watch GME, right?
I think it's just like, this market, I'm putting all this research into shit. I'm going meme stock again, and
Yeah.
we're gonna bring this back to 2020.
And all it takes, and this is not a joke, all it takes is a picture posted by Roaring Kitty, and this would go up 60%.
I'm not gonna say 60, but it would definitely go up.
Yeah.
Maybe 60 after a few days, but yeah, you never know. GME is one of those stocks that just has still an incredible volume. I mean, the volume is still 10 million. Like that is
Yeah, I know.
insane. This long after everything, that this is still such a darling company, in the grand scheme of everything here.
Yeah. I'm checking Ape Wisdom now because it used to be first place there for years. It has dropped now, but yeah, can't even find it now on the first page here. But maybe I skipped over it because I would assume that it's on here.
Can you search by name?
Yeah, I can search just like this, I think. No, it's probably on the second page then, which is a bit weird to me.
Well, stuff comes and goes.
Well, I don't know anymore if it is here. I mean, it is here, but the mention has dropped drastically. That's a bit. It's gonna. Maybe we are early then, Dane. Maybe we are early on the second GameStop storm.
I will say, if you go to, does this pull from Wall Street Bets?
Yeah, and Reddit and all. Yeah, Reddit and a few.
Because I mean, Wall Street Bets is like dead. I went on there the other day, and I mean, like the posts are getting like, because I don't ever go on Reddit anymore.
No, it goes from Wall Street Bets and stocks, investing, 4chan business, and more. Says so it's just
that's
like
what I'm saying, but it's all dead. There's like no one on there anymore.
Okay.
The whole thing's really died out. I seriously wonder after what's this called when that reported came out that when Elon was buying Twitter, that like 80% of it's bots. Like the more I go on social media now, I really wonder, like, I feel like because of the like there's no intelligent conversations going on usually. Like if you look at the comments and whatnot, it's just like really dumb, like exaggerated posts. I just think most of it's just complete nonsense. I honestly don't even believe anything on social media anymore.
No, I agree. And just look, I've never used TikTok. I just have heard about it. But the inflated views, like when you post on Instagram versus TikTok, you get like 100x your views and stuff like that. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just that they just have like things to make things pop and try and make it look important when it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe a little bit on the same topic, but not really. But did you see the Joe Rogan interview with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon?
yeah, I did.
And how was it Matt Damon who said like he has been instructed to kind of like repeat the plot of the movie 4 times throughout the movie in some kind of dialogue so the viewer can hear
Yeah,
it
so they're not
because they are
scrolling on their
busy.
phone.
Yeah, that's in. I read if and I'm sure that's accurate though because Netflix is probably they have some solid data on this, but I kind of hope it's not because that's just I don't know.
Yeah, but this is the difference. I like that podcast because I think Ben Affleck brought up some good points. And
I
basically,
agree.
between the two of them, what they're saying is that, like, you know, a lot of it's just trash content. And the problem with trash content is at that point, the owners and the guys who run that industry, they know it's trash. And they know that in order to keep your attention, they just have to do all these little triggers and things. So in a movie that you're going to put out that you don't really give a shit about the plot, you don't really care, you're just trying to make some cash, that makes sense that, yeah, you have to mention something like 50 times to keep anyone's interest because what you're putting out is already shit. So it's competing with other dumb shit that people waste their time on. But if you're going to put out like a quality movie, just make the good movie. Just if it's good enough, it won't matter. It transcends and blocks out all the nonsense. It's kind of like what you and I are saying about the noise in finance. Like if you're looking on these financial news, anything, it's all just bullshit. It's just bullshit. To talk, you know, and it's to try and make conversation. And to be honest, they capture a lot of people because if you're like a crazy indexer and you're someone who like can't handle and even indexing and you're watching it every day go up and down and you're panicking, like you live off that news because it like, you know, drives you nuts. But and same thing if you're an investor and you're, let's say you got a 20% position in a big company, like you're going to look at news on every day on that because you're trying to follow that company that well. And hopefully it's a good company and it's worth actually investing in it. But the rest of it's all just bullshit.
I saw also Ben Affleck brought up a good point that I think it's true, and I 100% agree with it. I've been speaking about people at my work and my family and stuff like this for a long time actually. Like I feel like in this day and age, but I might be wrong. I don't have the overview, but I just feel like in this day and age, if you just like, my point is it doesn't seem like it takes so much to be good at what you're doing in this day and age because a lot of people they don't give a shit. They don't try. They don't have the stamina. They don't have the mentality. So it's just like small things that were maybe more common when you and I grew up. That I maybe have taken a bit for granted. Like, of course, people are like this, but they turn out to not be. I saw he wasn't a general, but he was in the military, like one of the sergeants or probably lieutenant or something. He was speaking here in Norway. He was speaking like, you know, the bicycles that you can rent, like not the bicycles, but the scooters, you know?
Right.
They were meant to make the planet more green so you didn't have to take the car everywhere, but instead they have replaced walking. So now in my country, you have to go to the military for 1 year, right? When you turn 18. Mm-hmm. And the groups they get into the military now, they are not used to walking. Even walking long distances, you know. So the military start to struggle. Like they have to teach.
Well, a bike's at least you're pedaling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not electric.
Yeah, but the military has to. He said like we don't have time to teach people how to walk. And it's like I don't know. But my Ben Affleck brought up a point, like you said also, if you just go and make a good movie, people will like it. And before you had many good movies, so there was more competition. And he also said the same with the long format podcasts and stuff like that, that he can see that a lot of people appreciate it, but maybe a certain type of people these days, like it's not for everyone, I think, anymore to watch something for 4 hours and be interested.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
I mean, I've always been someone that's a fan of anything that's of quality. Like, I've been watching Fallout. I think that show's been great. I think it's a great rendition of the games. And then but then, there's also like all those shows that are just nonsense. So I just started paying for Paramount Plus because you get the UFC now, and I like to watch the UFC. So that's, for me, that was an excellent deal. But it's also like I look at all the shows that like CBS outputs, and I'm just someone who can't watch any of that. To me, it's
Yeah.
just like mind-numbingly terrible TV. And I get it. Some people kind of like it. They like the idea that they don't have to really pay attention, and they just want to have background noise on, or they even like the show. I don't know. I don't believe them, but they say they like that show. They say it's good enough. I can't watch the same show that does the same thing on every episode for 1,000 episodes and call that, good TV. But nothing against those who like that kind of stuff. But there is that person who just wants quantity, like they just want stuff to watch. And, I don't know, maybe they burnt out all the better shows. Maybe they have more time to watch TV than I do. So I'm always trying to catch up on the shows that I think look good, and I never can watch everything that I want to. So to me, it's like there's unlimited good quality content, which is why I'm always blown away that any of these other shows even survive, because I'm like, who's watching this stuff? Like who gets these things to be paid for? And it's kind of mind-numbing.
Probably more than you believe then, because
It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be millions of people somewhere. I just don't know who these people are, and I don't know what they're doing with the time, because I don't know how you're sitting there watching like. And I know I've talked to so many people who tell me that they love like in the States we have like NCIS, and like NCIS has been on in 30 different formats over the past 30 years, and there's every episode's the same thing, essentially just rehashed in some different way. And after like 5,000 episodes, I don't understand how someone enjoys it. I just don't. But
I guess that's
I know
what
people do. So it is funny how everything lands.
I guess that's what they said, like with Matt Damon, like people are just having those shows on, but they are doing other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just in the background, and I'm okay with that. But if I'm like you, like if I'm spending my time on something, I kind of need to try to learn something from it and develop some stuff, that's what I have spent my time on mostly the past years, and it's become like a habit now. Like I kind of need to, I can't just sit and watch something that doesn't give me anything, you know what I mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like I never get home and I'm tired and I just put on something. My wife watches a lot of trash TV, for better or worse, calling it. And it's not like I don't appreciate some of those shows. Some of them I like just to watch. But there's ones I will and ones I won't. There's like stuff that she'll watch. Like there's a bunch of shows she would not watch, even though it all falls into trash TV in my mind. Yeah. But yeah, and I guess the same thing. I have limited time. I'm trying to, always be learning and doing different stuff. And I know not everyone cares, but I also just think there's enough good quality content that some stuff is like it's really well done, and it makes me think about things, and there's such good writing, and there's there's great actors and actresses, and there's just so much that I would rather spend my time on that stuff. I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't remember how this is connected to stocks, though.
Well, there's your shit stocks that you don't watch, and you'll get lucky on those, but it's going to be a lot of noise, and it's going to go up and down. And then there's your darlings, and just find those ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you're investing or trading, if you just invest or trade in the best companies, most likely you'll do okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter which way you do it.
I saw that there was a guy here in my country that got in the newspaper, a fund manager for metals, silver and gold. The day before that huge correction, he got the whole newspaper saying that all of these will go 30 times more, 100 times more, blah, blah, blah. And then it's ugly, you know, because people read it and they a lot of people have noticed these gold prices for ages now, and then maybe he's a fund manager, I should listen to him, and then you lose 30% of your money next day.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's why, like, I think
nasty.
it's funny because in finance you read books like Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, and
Yeah.
you know they're talking about like it's between like 1907 and 1920, and you would think that long ago has very little to do with today's markets, yet everything holds so true. Like,
Yeah.
just, I mean, the way they got their news and the way they had to invest was obviously very different, but at the same time, the way it's structured and worked and the way that human emotion carries everything through, it's the exact same. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
That part is, it's crazy how much that sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, and that has been like a bit of a aha moment for me while reading all of those books. Like, things are just repeating itself. That's why that's why you find these patterns that we are looking for
Yeah,
in the chart.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So that's and highly interesting. That it's a highly interesting mirror into humans, I think.
Yeah, no, it does make you think.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
total side note. Glad we ended on that.
Yeah, I think that's the deepest this channel has ended in a while.
Yeah.
We
Well,
we don't usually do that here.
yeah, and so and to lead into next week, we'll give you some valuable advice. Things are probably either going to go up or they will go down.
Yeah, no, I think that's gonna happen. I think, and I'm gonna search for Mr. Silver's email. I have some questions for him.
Yeah, and value, if you want to head out to go see what was it? Was it CRV?
CREV. We need some answers. What are they planning with all these late filings? Of course, they are buying themselves some time to reveal something big, right?
They're probably busy watching trash TV. Slowing the filings down. That's probably the issue.
Value, go. Please go and give us some answers here. We need them. They are in Ireland, by the way. So another trip.
Yeah, they're probably having a drink or something, slowing things down out there.
Yeah. All right. Then we will be on next weekend, right? I think so.
Yeah, I am. Well, I should be able to. I'll be in touch with you. I just
Yeah.
one of the days we might be away, so I just gotta figure out what we're doing.
Yeah. All good. Well, see you next weekend then.
All right, everybody, have a good one.
Bye bye.